Like, I look at the Warriors, and I can't say they need just a center, right? Because
Mhm.
think about it. Even if they had, what's his name? Wimby, you think that would help?
Oh, if they had Wemby, they win a championship. It's
Because
hands
of
down
Wimby.
because of
Because of
Wemby.
Wimby,
Wemby had
right?
41 Wemby had 41 points and 24 rebounds last night in game
I
1
did
against the Thunder.
I did see
He hit a
that.
logo 3
Earned what it 3
in
2, overtimes?
2 overtimes. He hit a logo
Mm.
3 in the first overtime, I think it was.
So did you think the Spurs is winning just because of Wimby?
No. Uh-uh. I mean,
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
yeah. Alright, my produce pick of the week is, can the Warriors win another championship before Steph retires? So, Steve Kerr just signed a 2-year extension. A lot of people had questions after the season just ended, like what would happen with obviously the trio now, Kerr, Draymond, and Steph. As we all know, Klay Thompson got traded mid-season last season. Not
I
mid-season.
th
He got traded before. I'm kind of confusing the Luca and Anthony Davis thing, but
It wasn't for, Jimmy Butler? No?
no. Mm-mm.
Oh, okay, alright.
Um, actually, it could be. It might have been a 3-team. I don't really remember, but
Okay.
it might have been a 3-team deal that brought Jimmy
Oh,
from
okay.
the Heat to Golden State,
Oh, I see what you mean.
ship Clay off to Dallas. Uh, but anyway, so Steph is aging, Draymond is aging. Draymond drafted in 2012, so he just wrapped up his 13th season in the league. Steph was drafted in '09, just finished his 17th season in the league. Yeah,
God.
17 years.
Mhm.
Um, Obviously,
But
big
Steph
one.
is how old?
Steph is 37.
Oh, how old Draymond is? He's younger than
Draymond
that?
is 35, I think.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Um, so yeah, just as they made it to the play-in, this current season, just the season that just ended,
Oh, the
for them.
play-in, yeah, and
They made it
lost.
to the play-in and they lost. Uh, but, so that's when the question starts to rise. Obviously, there's been questions around that team for some years now. So yeah, I say to say, like, it's questions. I personally believe that there is a chance. I think there's always a chance to win when you got Steph, but they just have to make sure they are putting the right pieces around him.
Yeah.
Uh, and they've been trying. Obviously, with this season, Jimmy Butler got hurt, but I think with Jimmy Butler, they would have at least gotten out of the play-in. But we'll
You
see.
think you they should have. That's what you're saying, they
Yeah,
should
I think
have.
with Jimmy Butler, like they would have gotten out of the play-in. I think with Jimmy Butler, they would have maybe been competitive to not even be in a play-in for maybe like a 5, 6 seed or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
But so yeah, coming back next season with a healthy Jimmy Butler, hopefully a healthy Steph and Draymond. Al Horford provided some good minutes this season between GP2 and I think he ended up getting hurt as well.
Oh, he
Uh,
did? Yeah, because
yeah,
I remember seeing him play.
uh, Brandon Pajimski. So I think they have some good pieces. I think they obviously they were missing Jimmy, that veteran presence on the floor. Al Horford brings that veteran presence. What I think they're missing though is a solid like center.
Yeah, yes, it's possible. I don't know too much. I can't talk too much because I don't know that much about basketball, but, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Like you said, I think there's a chance with Steph. He gets around pretty good still. He still
Oh
amazes
yeah.
me sometimes.
Hmm. He's still great.
All right, welcome to another episode of Making Groceries podcast, Mom and Son Conversations. I am Misty, the mom.
And I'm Devon, the son. This is not just a podcast for us. It's where we model what it looks like to foster deeper, healthier relationships between mothers and sons, one real conversation at a time.
And more specifically, we help them to strengthen the emotional connection through faith, honest conversations, self awareness, and intentional communication strategies. So, with that being said, we're going to jump back into the conversation about the Warriors. Can the Warriors win another championship before Steph retires? What do you think are some of the issues? And
So, what you say?
you said some of them earlier, some of the issues with
Yeah,
unhealthy. Jimmy Butler wasn't playing, right? GP2 wasn't playing.
right. Injuries are a big issue for the Warriors. Draymond misses time every year. Steph been injury prone, so he
Yeah.
misses time. Uh, what else? So yeah, like of course Jimmy Butler got hurt, GP2 got hurt. So injuries really has been plaguing this team. It's kind of been the story, a big story for this team since their the year after they lost in the finals to the Raptors. When the Raptors had Kawhi Leonard that year, 2019 finals. They
Okay. I
lost
don't
to
remember that.
they lost. So remember in that finals, KD got hurt. That's when he tore his Achilles.
Oh, okay. Okay. I remember that. Yeah.
So, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the same year Clay got hurt. Um, I'm getting confused.
Oh, I do remember when Clay got hurt too. I don't
So,
remember if it was the same year
and
as
then Clay
KD.
Clay had another big injury like the next season. Like he came back at the end of the
Oh,
season,
okay.
another big injury. So he tore his Achilles and then he tore his ACL. So,
Mm,
um, injuries have like plagued this team pretty much third since their not third championship, but like since they were in the finals against the Raptors.
okay.
And I think it was the season after that or the season before they won the championship and Steph broke his hand. So
Oh,
he had a lot he sat out a lot.
yeah.
And then when they came back in the 2021-2022 season, obviously they ended up winning the championship that year. They were doubting Steph, like, hey, the Warriors hadn't been back to the finals in like 3 years since.
Yeah.
KD left. They had a couple bad seasons, missed the playoffs and all of that. Can Steph win a ring pretty much like without another superstar on the team?
Superstar. Yeah.
Um,
I remember
because you
that.
know he won in 2015, it was just the big 3, it was just him, Draymond, and Clay.
Okay.
They had Andre Iguodala, uh, but you know those championships that they won back to back, they had KD on that team. So
Mhm.
so a lot of people was kinda doubting, and they ended up winning the championship in 22.
Okay,
Steph,
so
Clay's one.
so you think, like their relationships, you think
Um,
that has anything to do with it?
it could. I mean, we don't really know, like, what goes on in the locker room because they don't,
Yeah.
they don't leak that stuff. Obviously, we know Draymond punched, Jordan Poole a few years ago.
Yeah.
We know actually previously, one of the reasons KD left was him and Draymond like got into it.
Oh, really?
hmm Draymond called him out his name and all of that. So like they got into it. Uh,
Okay.
so we've seen like Draymond kind of like pushing people away. Uh,
Yeah.
uh,
And you
but
know how I feel about Draymond. I love Draymond. I like his hustle. I love the way he play. But I've told you over and over again, I just think he goes a little too far sometimes.
he does
And with
sometimes.
him going too far, um, I think that's hurting the team more than it's helping. Because
hmm
that could affect the morale.
Yeah,
Because
it
I
does. Mhm.
yeah, because I've seen, what is Steph was it Steph? I think when sometimes when Draymond do something, and, like, I can see the frustration on Steph's face sometimes, like,
Mhm.
sometimes he just gotta
So, they all get I'm sure they all get frustrated with Draymond.
Yeah,
And that's what happens when you win championships with somebody, when you play with somebody for so long, y'all become really
yeah,
close, but it's also still, like, some things that they do that frustrate you
yeah.
and
Oh,
for
yeah,
the most part, I think
exactly.
the Warriors have done a good job of, like, keeping that stuff in-house,
Yeah,
uh, besides when they lead Draymond, punching Jordan Poole
and Jordan Poole, yeah,
in the KD
uh-huh.
situation. But, yeah, I don't think that this team really has an issue with, like, relationships. Outside of those
Okay,
couple instances, I feel like they don't really have an issue with relationships, but it's always when you see, like, uh, I don't wanna say a fracture, but when you see some type of, like, tension going on in the locker room, a lot of
yeah,
times it's from Draymond. Because so just
from Dre
recently, he I wouldn't say he really took a shot. He didn't really take a shot at Steve Kerr, that's the wrong thing to say, because
Okay.
but he basically said that, like, Steve Kerr kinda hindered his, like, growth as a player.
Oh, really?
Yeah, something along the line, I'm paraphrasing, but so, it's just kinda stuff like that, like, but y'all won 4 championships together,
Yeah,
and I don't think not to take anything from Draymond, but I don't think Draymond is the Hall of Famer that he is without Steve Kerr being there, without Steph being there, without Clay being there. Obviously, he ain't saying nothing about
yeah,
Steph, but, like,
yeah,
Steve Kerr coached that team, and Steve Kerr won championships as a player. Steve Kerr has won 4 championships as, a coach. He's one of the,
okay.
all-time great coaches, so to kinda say that was a little, like, confusing.
So, because I know Steph has always been with the Warriors, so what about Draymond? He's always
Yeah.
played with the Warriors?
Mhm.
Okay, so how many other coaches that have they had?
Only one other one, Mark Jackson.
Oh, really?
Mhm. Yeah, I'm trying to think, when Steph got drafted in '09, it might have been somebody else. I would have to look back and see.
Okay,
Um, but let me see. Who was the Warriors coach in the 2009 season? It might have been, if I'm thinking correctly, it might have been Don Nelson.
okay. So Steph probably played under 3
Yep,
coaches?
Don Nelson.
Okay,
So he played 2 seasons with Don Nelson, and then Don Nelson got replaced by Keith Smart prior to the 2010-2011 season. But I think that same season might be when they brought in,
Mark
Mark
Jackson?
Jackson,
Okay.
and the Keith Smart might have just been an interim.
Yeah, in the
Uh,
room, yeah.
they brought in Mark
Okay.
Jackson. Mark Jackson coached a couple seasons, and they brought in Steve Kerr.
Mm.
He
So
coached,
how
like,
long Kerr? So it's
Kerr
been
has been a
what?
coach since 2014.
14. Oh, wow.
They
Okay.
won a championship his first year as the head coach.
So, yeah, and I'm asking that because, like, why would Draymond say that? Why do you think he would say that?
I don't know.
Because
I mean, we know Draymond got a big mouth sometimes. Like, I mean, I
yeah,
just think that's what it is. Sometimes he just got a big mouth,
sometimes
and
you speak without thinking. Is that what it
yeah,
is?
I mean, you see on the court sometimes he, like, I feel like he acts without thinking, you know?
Oh, definitely. Oh,
But like, that's who he is. I think that, like, I feel like that organization knows how to deal with him.
yeah,
Um, and, I don't think he's a bad guy. Nobody ever says, like, he's a bad dude. A lot of people say he's a good dude,
yeah.
but,
Okay.
he got a mouth on him, and sometimes he just say too much. And
Yeah,
like I said, I don't think it was a shot at Steve Kerr. I think he was just it might just be how he feels to play, but I don't know if it was necessary to voice that to
yeah.
the like a mass populace of people,
Exactly. Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Uh but yeah, so relationships, I don't think they have, like, too many issues with that outside of those few instances.
Yeah, because so who are the main stars? Steph, definitely. So you would call Draymond because they were what they called them?
The Splash Brothers?
Splash Brothers, yeah,
Steph
yeah.
and Clay,
So
yeah.
those were the 3 stars, okay, so now it's so Jimmy has taken Clay's place?
In a sense, they're not the same player, but in a
Yeah,
sense,
but in a sense with the
yeah.
3 stars, yeah, okay,
Mhm.
um, so what about? Because I realized that, Kuminga was gone.
Yeah, so that's kinda another thing, like, to the
Mhm,
point of, like, relationships.
mhm.
Him and Kerr didn't have the best of relationship.
Oh, okay. I
Dude,
think I do remember hearing some talk about, yeah, him and Kerr, Kuminga and Kerr.
yeah, him and Kerr didn't have the best of relationships, but, I don't Kuminga felt like Kerr didn't play him enough.
Yeah.
Kerr felt like Kuminga didn't produce enough,
Yeah.
so which I think that's fair on both sides, like,
Yeah, yeah.
but to be fair to the Warriors organization, they gave Jonathan Kuminga some years to, like, develop and prove himself.
Oh, how long was he there?
Uh,
At least 3?
at least 3, 4 years.
Okay, okay.
Um, so, they gave him the opportunity to, like, prove himself, and he would get in,
Yeah.
he was very inconsistent. So
Yeah.
he would have
He
good games
was.
sometimes and, super talented, but he just and to him and Kerr's defense, he just might not have thrived, like, in that system.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly, yeah.
Having a superstar and, somebody a vet like Jimmy Butler, a vet like Draymond, he might
Mhm.
but he got to the Hawks and he started playing a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I saw him play,
he
on the
may not
Hawks.
have just that probably just wasn't
Yeah.
the system for him.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
but yeah, so that's a big issue, I think, with them. Well, I don't really think the relationship stuff is an issue, but like I said, injuries, um,
Yeah.
has been very just like ravaged their team. Um,
So what do
and
you think? Okay, because 'cause I'm keep talking about relationships. So how do you just from seeing them on the court? Because you say they usually, you know, keep, any confusion or whatever between players under wraps or whatever. But how do you think by seeing Steph and Jimmy on the court, like, how do you think they connect?
um, I think that I think that they play very well together. I think the
Mhm.
reason for that is because Jimmy Butler was is at a stage of his career where coming to the Warriors, he knows like that's Steph's team.
I gotcha. Mhm.
Like, uh,
Mhm.
Jimmy Butler is probably Jimmy Butler is a Hall of Famer in my opinion.
Okay.
Um, Jimmy Butler hasn't necessarily been like a huge superstar in his career. Um, he's been a star for a long time though, and he's been one of the best players in the league like for a long time.
Yeah, how many other teams he played on?
The Bulls, the Heat, the Sixers, the
Okay.
Warriors.
Okay, I think I remember him playing for the Heat.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
where
look
that's
to
where his like that was the real prime of his career.
Okay, okay, that's what
Um,
I remember then.
but like I said, he Jimmy Butler was at a phase where like I think obviously he understand anybody coming to go to state understand that like that's Steph's team. Um, and Jimmy Butler, I believe him and Steph mesh well because Jimmy Butler doesn't. He's not the type of player that has to have the ball in his hand.
Yeah,
Um, he's not the type of player. He plays both ends of the court. He's been known for his defensive prowess,
yeah,
and over his career, his like offensive skills have gotten a lot better.
and
And
I
he's
think
not a
he's
not a selfish player. Steph isn't a
yeah,
selfish player either.
either,
So
yeah.
when Jimmy Butler got it going, you see Steph defer to him, and when
Mhm.
Steph got it going, you'll see Jimmy Butler right away like defer to him.
Yeah, I think that's mutual respect, I believe,
Mhm.
you know, but yeah, and I want about Jimmy, I'm thinking about Jimmy, and I don't know how he like I said, I remember him on the Heat, but he's, like, so even keel. I've never seen him get
Mhm.
upset. Has he ever? Like,
I
haven't
mean,
seen him play every game.
yeah, I mean, you'll see some emotion come out,
Yeah.
but
Is he like Steph? Because
he's
Steph never really show.
kinda like Steph though, yeah, like,
Okay, okay.
you'll see the emotion come out, but
Yeah,
for the most part,
it's
he'll
controlled.
it's controlled, yeah.
Okay, alright. Yeah, they ain't going off the hinges
Right.
like Draymond.
Mhm.
And like I said, I do believe, people play their roles. I get it. With Draymond, because I noticed that on some football teams, really. Because who was that? I don't want to veer from it, but what's his name? I think
On
he
what team?
preaches now. Um, the big guy. The one that got in trouble years ago. Uh, was it for thinking he did he shoot somebody? He did. What's his name?
Ray Lewis?
Ray Lewis.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ray Lewis a
Didn't Ray
preacher?
shoot somebody? Didn't he
Yeah,
shoot somebody? Yeah. Okay. A preacher. He may not be a preacher, but I think he's very spiritual.
he is, yeah.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
and I just remember him. He was like the hype man for what team he played for?
The Ravens.
The Ravens. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Mhm,
So and I've seen a couple of other guys for football, right? But
mhm.
I don't are there any other people like Draymond? I guess he's that hype man
In the
for
league? In NBA?
yeah, in NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Who?
mean, each team has their and, like,
Any like Draymond.
maybe not, but, uh, I don't think there's anybody in the league that's quite like him.
Yeah, okay.
Um, but actually close though is Dylan Brooks. Um,
Who he play for?
Dylan Brooks plays with the Grizzlies now? Is it the Grizzlies?
Okay.
I don't know, he didn't move teams
Let
in a
me
couple
see.
I don't know.
Let me look up. Let me see how he look. Let me see if I've seen it before.
He crazy. Yeah, I don't like him, he dirty though.
Uh, oh, really?
Yeah, he can hoop sometimes, but I don't really care for him. But
Dylan Brooks.
he's that, like
Oh, yeah, I've seen him. I've seen him
yeah,
before.
he's
Okay,
that,
yeah.
what's the word I'm looking for? He's that, like
He played for the Suns.
the Suns, that's who it is, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew I
Okay.
just seen him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he's the muscle of the team in a sense, like,
Okay.
he's the loudmouth, he's gonna get in people's face, he's
Mm.
gonna talk trash, and then, obviously that's what Draymond so it
Yeah.
kinda back to your point about relationships, like, with them,
Yeah.
um, you said everybody knows their role, and
Yeah.
I think the Warriors have done a good job of that, though, so I don't think that's a, like, hindering factor. I know we talked about those
Mhm.
couple things might, like, hinder of those few instances with Draymond, but I don't
Yeah.
initially with them, I don't think it's they do that very well. Everybody that comes to Golden State since Steph has, like, taken that team over knows that, 1, it's Steph's team,
Yeah.
um, and I'm just gonna, like, play my role,
Yeah.
and when they play their role and, they don't have obviously each team has their issues, but, like, when you have a team of, like, a bunch of unselfish players,
Mhm.
who know how to play their role, obviously that helps, like, their relationships on and off the court. I mean, I know, like, kinda elaborating on, like, the question about, like, if they can win a championship. Outside of the injuries thing, um,
Mhm.
that's another thing that, like, really hinders them, I feel like, is pretty much since well, obviously since 2022, since their last championship, but even before that, when they lost those few years before they lost to those few years after they lost to Toronto and before they won that 4th championship, um, for the longest, they've been in, like, a constant, like, build and rebuild phase.
Yeah.
Um like I said earlier, trying to put the right pieces around Steph.
Mm,
Uh, and sometimes it's worked, sometimes it hasn't.
mhm.
But I mean, and that comes with like any organization,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Any
any
sport.
any sport, any organization. Obviously, when
Yeah.
you are, especially when you are like the type of organization that the Warriors are,
Mhm.
very well ran organization.
Yeah.
Um, obviously, a dynasty. They have a level of like prestige that other organizations don't have.
Okay.
So I feel like their failures are like highlighted a lot.
Mm.
Um,
Mhm. Yeah. I
but
get it.
yeah, it's like they're constantly, like building and rebuilding because they're not the type of team that going to just like tank.
Yeah.
You so
Yeah.
they're not just going to tank
Not
and
just
okay, we go tank this season and we going to hope to like get a lottery pick or something like that.
yeah. Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of the situation I deal with, like we deal with as me being a Steelers fan, is that such a prestigious organization and we not gonna get out there and just lose
Yeah.
to get like a really good draft pick or whatever. The last really good draft pick quarterback we had was Bill Roethlisberger, and that was 20 something years ago.
Mhm.
Um,
Big Ben?
Big Ben got drafted in '04. That was his first
Oh,
season.
wow. Okay. All right.
So it's that like because you're such a and it's kind of hindering, you see, like because
Yeah.
the Steelers was always like 500, 8-8, 9-7,
Mhm.
but never winning enough
Yeah.
to like since their last championship, but also never
Mhm.
losing enough to get like a guaranteed like high draft pick that's really gonna like help take them over the top.
Yeah, and they're not like you said, they're not taking it. That's
Right.
integrity. That's
hmm
called integrity.
So it's kind of double-edged sword. Like
Yeah.
you maintain that prestige as an organization, but
Mhm.
you also put yourself in a constant like build rebuild stage,
Yeah. Mhm.
especially when you building around like a superstar and now an aging superstar.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, so those are some different reasons as to why they may not
Those
win.
so the reasons that they may not before Steph retires, like I said, injuries and the building and rebuilding. Like I
Okay.
said, because I'm sure they're gonna do that they're gonna try to rebuild their roster again this offseason,
Mhm.
because Kerr signed a 2-year extension. So I'm sure they like, hey, Kerr signed a 2-year extension. Steph 37 years old.
Yeah.
We got
Urgent. It's
yeah,
urgent.
we got 2 years to win another championship.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay.
So yeah, injuries and the build rebuild. The relationship
Okay.
thing is like I said, I don't think that's really a hindrance. I think
It
the
is.
relationship give them an advantage to
Yeah,
winning.
'cause again, with Draymond, I just think there has been some instances where it has been detrimental to the team instead of
Mhm.
helpful, but I
Yeah.
don't think I don't think it has been, um, played a part in them not getting to the playoffs.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think they take what they get with Draymond.
Yeah, yeah.
Like him
Mhm.
saying that recent thing about Kerr. It may have been some stuff from that we don't see,
Yeah.
but yeah, like I said, I
Mhm.
don't think it's enough. I think they do relationships pretty well that like they can deal with that. They can compartmentalize the whole Draymond stuff sometimes
Yeah, yeah.
and continue to
Mhm.
like, move forward. So
Yeah,
that's a factor that gives them an edge to possibly get back to another championship.
yeah. Alright. Now the question was posed again. Can they win another championship before Steph retires? Devon said some reasons for why they haven't won, some of the reasons as to why, like injuries or whatever. But So now, what do you think is the solution? So, like, put yourself in Kerr's place or GM. You know, play you play basketball. Not to that level, of course,
Yeah.
but I think it's still the same. Same concepts. So, what do you think? What do you think is the solution? What would you say
Um,
if you were in the organization? What would be your solution?
um, so I'm gonna preface this by saying I'm not an expert. I'm not a sports analyst. This is just my own opinion from my own experience and
Yeah.
as a fan of the Warriors and
Okay.
stuff. So I think that I kind of alluded to it. Like I said, they not alluded to, it, but I talked about them being in the build and rebuild. So one of the first steps to solving this issue is just getting a right roster. Uh, so they picked up Al Horford, who has provided like some good veteran minutes for them. Uh, he can he can still defend, like relatively defend at his age.
Okay.
But he's old as well. Al Horford, 38 years old,
Yeah.
uh, and then but he'll also give you some, good minutes on the offensive side. He can spread the
Okay.
floor, he can hit the three.
Okay.
That's why he flourished with Boston, when the year they won a championship a couple years ago when
I do remember.
they ran a 5 out. So, 5 out, drive and kick, and that's how, he flourished like that.
Okay.
So, mm, iron out the right roster, um, and, like, personnel. Like I said, I think they need a center. I think they need a solid center. They don't need anybody to really score the ball. They don't need anybody else to really, like, spread the floor because Guy Santos can do that. Um, Al Horford can do that. They just need somebody down there like Kevon Looney who get down there and bang and rebound.
Okay. So, specifically, give me a name. Couple of names. You're talking about centers. Give me a couple of names who you think would fit with
I
the
don't
Warriors roster.
know. I don't know if they'll be like free agents. Um,
No,
or
just
somebody.
even if they're not free agents. We're
Yeah,
not even going to just think of just tell me who would be a good fit. Somebody like
as a center, somebody like Robert Williams.
who does he
Um,
play for?
Robert Williams is with the Blazers now, I think.
Okay.
But great rim protector. Uh, he was on that championship Boston team. Did the same
Okay.
thing there. Um, Mitchell from the Knicks. Uh, who else? Even, somebody akin to like Rudy Gobert. Not, the Timberwolves are not gonna give up Rudy Gobert,
Yeah, yeah.
but somebody akin to that, like,
Yeah.
uh, can guard a couple different positions, is a great defender, gonna grab a lot of rebounds. So just somebody solid to get down there and do what, like, Draymond can't really do anymore.
Okay,
Um,
what about don't they have his name? What's his name? He's one of them whose dad played too. What's his name? He's not a center? What's
Isaiah
his name?
Hartenstein, you talking about?
No, because remember, I think they had 4 of them on that team on the Warriors whose dad also played NBA. It was GP, Steph, Clay, and another one. What's his
Oh,
name?
yeah. I don't know, I forgot. Al Horford, I think, huh? No,
No, not Horford.
no, not Al Horford. I don't know,
And
I
I'm
forgot.
thinking he wasn't a center. I think they
It
would
might have been.
switch him and Looney out. Light skinned guy, curly hair.
Oh,
I believe he biracial. What's his name?
I know you talk about,
Yeah.
was it Jackson Davis?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What is it? Let me see, Jackson what?
I think Jackson Davis. I might be blanking on her name.
Let me see.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, so what's his oh, he's a center. Yeah, so he's not producing, he's still with him? Let
Uh, is he? I'm
Trace.
talking
Trace Jackson Davis,
Trace
yeah.
Jackson Davis. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Trace
Yeah.
Jackson Davis.
Uh-huh.
Um, he's
He's
still
young
there.
too.
He's young. Like I said, because and maybe
Maybe that's the reason.
he's giving them good minutes. They also have KP, Kristaps Porzingis, a solid veteran. He could score the ball.
Okay.
So I honestly, but to my point earlier, injuries. KP got injured. Like he's been injury prone his whole career too.
So what's his
So
name?
Kristaps Porzingis,
Chris?
Kristaps. You know Porzingis if you see him.
Oh, I see him, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
alright. Yeah.
So like I said, I think
Mm,
that's the big
alright.
solution. Obviously, they solved the question about coach. You know, with Steve Kerr signing a 2-year extension.
Yeah,
Because after the season ended, nobody really knew like if they were going to if Steve Kerr would be back. It's also
okay.
some questions though if Draymond will potentially not be a Warrior.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
I gotta look at his contract stuff,
Okay.
but it's some questions there. But I think the Warriors are going to make sure like Steph and Draymond retire as Golden State Warriors.
As a warrior.
Um, but like I said, they solved the coaching question. They have to they have to get into a like they gotta make sure they stay healthy, and then they have to just figure out their roster. I think that type of center would help take them over the edge because
Yeah,
Trace Jackson Davis, like he's good, he gives them good minutes, but they're not experienced. Like they
yeah.
need. So when I say they need a center, they need a veteran center
Veteran center.
who's been there. Because Trey Jackson Davis and all of them are gonna give them the minutes and get the
Yeah.
rebounds and do that, but, like, when it come down to game 6, game 7 in the playoffs,
Mhm.
and potentially Kristaps Porzingis is potentially be hurt, Al Horford old, so he don't,
Yeah.
have those type of minutes, and then I think they also need a solid, a solid second option. I think Jimmy Butler is a good second option. But at the stage he is in his career, I think that they need somebody who can score the ball better than what Jimmy Butler can. I think Jimmy Butler is a good y Draymond Green can't be your 3rd option.
Okay.
Um, and I don't think he was. Kristaps Porzingis might have been.
Okay.
If I'm thinking about that team, like, with a healthy Jimmy Butler, Kristaps Porzingis is technically the 3rd option. But, like, I'm just thinking about, like, if he's hurt, you know they just have to I think they have to have a solid second option that will, um that can potentially, like, stay healthy,
Yeah. Yeah.
because Steph gonna miss some games. Jimmy Butler gonna miss some games. Kristaps Porzingis gonna miss some games. Uh,
Uh-huh.
but they just need a solid, like, second option. So, somebody like, uh somebody like a that could just get out there and score the ball. Like somebody like a Brad Bill, like Bradley Bill,
Now who
maybe
is he?
not.
Let me see.
Bradley Bill is a guard on the was with the Suns. I think he's still with the Suns.
Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Clippers.
Clippers. Okay, yeah. somebody like a Bradley Beal, um, even like a he missed games and he's aging, but even like a aging Paul George, you know.
Mm,
Paul George is a two-way player, but in his later part of career, he's a one-way player. Like now, he don't really defend the same way he used to, but he can still get out there and score the ball.
okay.
Um, so somebody like that, somebody who gonna give you, 20, 22 a game.
Mm.
Um, if they stay healthy. Paul George has some like issues with staying healthy,
Yeah,
but
and I like, I look at the Warriors, and I can't say they need just a center, right? Because
mhm.
think about it. If even if they had, what's his name? Wimby, you think that would help?
Oh, if they had Wemby, they win a championship. It's
Because
hands
of
down
Wimby.
because of
Because of
Wemby.
Wimby,
Wemby had
right?
41 Wemby had 41 points and 24 rebounds last night in game
I
1
did
against the Thunder.
I did see
He hit
that.
a logo 3
Third, what it 3
in
2, overtimes?
2 overtimes. He hit a logo
Mm.
3 in the first overtime, I think it was.
So did you think the Spurs is winning just because of Wimby?
No, uh-uh. I mean,
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
So that's what I'm saying. So who plays for the Spurs? I don't
um,
know
so
too
they
many play.
just the Spurs have been an up and coming team for the last couple of years.
Okay,
They starting
and
to hit
when
their stride.
okay.
But Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Julian Champagnie, Wimby. They have some solid players.
That's why I asked that question. Um, so when they would win with Wimby, and you think they because the rest of them are solid, like the Spurs
But the,
are, Spurs players are.
um,
I say Steph.
I think
I
outside of Steph, the Spurs have a better supporting cast around. Spurs have a better supporting cast around Wimby than the Warriors do
Wimby.
around Steph.
Yeah, I
They
get it.
got you know they got good, really good young players. Um, the Warriors are an older team. They got some good young players, but Brandon Pajemski, Guy Santos, Trace Jackson Davis, they not Devin Vassell, they not Stephon Castle,
Yeah,
like uh but
yeah.
yeah, if they got somebody like Wemby, I mean, hands down they win a championship. I've been saying for some months now that I think the Spurs are going to I'm not gonna go as far as to say they're gonna win a championship,
Uh-huh.
but I've been saying that they're gonna beat OKC and represent the West in the finals this year.
In the finals.
And then winning the OKC last night
And
and
when
won
oh,
game
yeah,
1.
they were. That's true. They were away at OKC, you're right.
Mhm. But yeah, yeah, like I said, so maybe to your point, maybe like them having might a solid center might not be the only piece that like would take them over the edge. I think
Yeah.
it would make them more competitive for sure.
Mhm.
Um, but the more I think about it now, they probably do need just a really solid like second option because they don't have that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, my boy getting older. Yeah. Injury. I love Steph. I love me some Steph. I ain't gonna lie.
Mhm. So I think that's the solution. Um, like I said, I ain't no analyst or nothing. I can't go into like super depth,
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, I think that's the solution for them. You know, that's the solution for a lot of teams. Just finding the right roster, figuring out how to. They have to, or and like I said, they're not going to do this, or they use this next season. Like, all right, we got 2 years with Kerr. We got the other maybe 2 to 3 years with Steph, 3 to 4, maybe even 5, depending on health and stuff like that. But um, you know what? Let's tank and then and then get, like, a lottery pick.
Yeah.
Uh, but they're not gonna do that, though.
No, no.
And the reason they're not gonna do it is because there's always a chance to win when you got Steph on the floor.
Okay, so now we are in our last segment. And as y'all noticed, I've been asking questions. I've been kind of interviewing been the interviewer.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I don't really know too much about. I don't know as much about basketball as Devon does. So so that was my role in this episode. But so Devon talked about some of the issues that the Warriors face. So a couple of issues that the Warriors have that may affect them winning another championship before Steph retire, right? They're
Mhm.
rebuilding and injuries and age, of course. You talked about what Harford,
Horford,
Butler, Steph, Draymond. Would you consider Draymond? I don't think Draymond is. Oh, you said mid-30s.
he like 35. I mean, he
Yeah,
not old, but he
but that's he's
basketball
older.
old.
Basketball. You're right. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Just finished his 13th year, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's old. So that's four players that I just mentioned.
Shoot, you want me to look at the roster and tell you, like, the age?
Yeah. Tell me real quick.
Okay.
Pajinski. That's how
He
you
young.
pronounce it. He's young. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Trace is
So,
young.
Trace is young. So, Jimmy is 36. Seth Curry is 35.
Oh, I forgot he was on there. Okay.
Steph Curry is 38 now, not 37.
Wow.
Draymond, 36. Al Horford, 39. Um, GP2, 33. Uh, Porzingis, 30. So another person I didn't really talk about. I mentioned like Guy Santos, but uh, Quentin Post was another one that could like spread the floor. Um, but another one that's like a good scorer, but I'm not sure he's a at this point in stage of his career. I'm not sure he's the solid second option right now. Is Moses Moody? He's coming
Oh.
around
Oh, I
every year.
forgot. I forgot Moody was on there. Yeah. So
Every year he's gotten
how old is Moody? He's
but he's
young
young.
too
He's
though.
23.
Okay. Gosh,
Yeah.
he's that young?
Mhm.
Oh wow, I didn't know he was that young.
Yeah.
That
But
boy
yeah, they
losing his
like
hair, ain't he?
yeah.
Moody? Yeah.
Shoot, I was losing mine at 23.
Yeah.
I'm not as not it wasn't as progressive as his is, but
No, no, no. I guess that's why I thought he was older. Wow. Okay. All right. Ooh. Okay. All right. So, but they do, like we said, there are some things that make them who they are, that they're good at relationships.
mhm,
Um, they each know their roles,
mhm,
and they are very selfless, right?
mhm. Yeah, they trust each other and they work well as a team.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so and of course, since we're mom and son, and we're talking about mom and son relationships, so we wanted to use the Warriors as a way to make that connection with mom and son relationships because building, you got to build the relationship as a mom and son. I think the mom, I've said this before, the mom is responsible for building that relationship. And sometimes it gets fractured, so you have to rebuild it, right? Um,
Mhm.
and I think we've had our rebuilding. I mean,
We
it
have
wasn't fractured, but we had
but
to.
yeah, even I think the rebuilding with like a mom and son, even if it's not fractured, even if y'all have a healthy relationship, I think it has to go through a rebuilding stage when that son reaches adulthood. because now you have
Age. You're talking
yeah,
about age. Yeah,
you
exactly.
have to
Yeah.
rebuild your relationship from a, like, mother taking care of a boy,
Mhm.
you know, using a boy to now, like, I'm an adult.
Mhm.
I live my own life and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah. And that's rebuilding, you're right. Yeah.
Mhm,
You have to rebuild around your growth,
mhm,
So which makes me I have to change my thought processes on how I would talk to you or the
mhm.
things I would do. Yeah, so yeah, it is rebuilding.
But also, I mean, it's also like that on in the reverse as well, because like, you're not the same person you were when you were raising me,
Definitely not.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. Because sometimes I like get frustrated sometimes and it is because I'm not the same person.
Mhm,
Like I'm and also with my growth as a Christian.
mhm,
And I think I've talked to you before, you know, I told Danae Danae got frustrated. Oh, one day they were here and we were outside, they playing music and stuff. And I was like, Danae, turn that down. And she was like, why you always want to turn it down when it's something we want to hear? Because this is my doggone house. But I understand. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna be like that because I like to listen to music anyway. Okay, yeah, but no, I do find myself getting frustrated sometimes with different things as y'all get older because yeah, I'm not the same. You're getting older and I'm also getting older. So there's some things that
mhm,
I can't tolerate anymore,
mhm.
and noise is one of them when I
Oh,
don't want to. Yeah, we talked about that, before.
I hate noise.
Okay, yeah, so rebuilding um age because of age, just like we just said, and
Mhm,
also knowing our roles too.
mhm,
You know, I I I know my role as a mother, and you also know your role as a son. And I would say, and I'm thinking about as a son, you knowing the type of mother I am.
mhm.
I'm knowing the type of son you are. So I'm not going to cross any boundaries, right? Um, I'm not going to say things that I know intentionally to hurt you,
Yeah,
because yeah, because my role as a mom is to protect our relationship.
mhm,
That I think that's my role. And I think from you, and you could talk about it, but I think from you, like your role as a son, mother and son. Um Because we said before, like you said it before, we're not friends, but we are friends. But I believe the mother and son, so I don't cross any boundaries with you. And you talked about it before. You curse a lot, but you don't curse in front of me. You know, you don't cross that boundary and you
mhm.
don't curse in front of me. So you know your role as a son, and I know my role as a mom. And I think that's very important because some people sometimes the lines get blurred, you know, and that could
Um,
cause some issues.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important. Like, what I was about to say, you had mentioned something. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, just knowing each other and knowing. Oh, that's what I was about to say. So like, your role as like my mama, and
Mhm.
and I know my role as your son, but like also because we have other parts of us, like we play other roles as well, and
Yeah.
we have to navigate those roles with like you being a mama. So you also have to navigate being a mama with being a grandma, uh, being a wife, being
Yes.
the kids and stuff like that. Um,
Yes.
I
And
have to
again, let me mention a grandmother, a new grandmother to twins.
Mhm. I'm tired.
Devon has twins. I'm mentioning again.
Mhm.
But yeah, you're right. Grandmother and just like you, husband, father, your career.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, so yeah. Yeah, we play a lot of roles. We play a lot of different roles. But yeah, that's important to know what what I expect from you and
Yeah.
what you expect from me.
Mhm,
Yeah.
and you mentioned something about, like, know you mentioned something about, like, knowing the boundaries and stuff too, because that took me back to when we had kinda talked about the situation with Draymond and KD. Like,
Mhm. Oh yeah.
KD's role in that system was to be KD and score the ball.
Yeah.
He wasn't looked at to be the leader. He wasn't looked at to be the voice. He was there to be an assassin. Like, that's pretty much it.
That was
Um,
it.
and he meshed well with that team. And Draymond obviously is the voice, is the Steph is the leader, but Draymond is the voice.
Yeah.
Um, and he's the vocal leader.
Yeah.
Uh, but he crossed the boundary
Mhm.
with K as a leader, you should know I should not say this to him.
Mhm.
But he said
Yeah.
it, and look what happened. Katie left.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Cause how many championships you think they could have won?
At that time,
Yeah.
barring any injuries,
Yeah.
they could have won another 3 championships easily.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah.
They
Mhm.
was gonna win in, they was gonna win in 2019 until KD got hurt, and
Oh,
not
yeah.
to take not to take anything away from Kawhi because he willed the Raptors to that championship,
Yeah.
but if KD don't go down with an Achilles injury, I think that series is
Mhm.
different.
Yeah. You're right. Mhm. And we talk about relationships with the teams, and I said earlier, like, I don't know, they could off court, they might not even have any relationships, but on
Right.
court, they do.
Mhm. Right.
And on court, they're talking. It takes communication.
Mhm.
You know, I know that when from you playing ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it takes communication. So in any relationship, mother and son relationship, teammates relationships, it takes communication.
Mhm.
I always say, like, man, communication, people underestimate communication. They really
Yeah.
do. Or you know what? It's not that they underestimate it. I think they just don't really understand what communication is.
They don't understand, and they don't understand how important it is to a relationship.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
It's really the foundation of a relationship,
Oh
like,
yeah.
communicating in any kind of league. We talk about basketball, uh,
Mhm.
sports, like, you have to communicate. You have to communicate with each other. You have to communicate on the floor. Like,
Mhm.
you don't win games without communicating during the game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I tell my folks at work, communication is the hardest thing that we do. So,
Yeah.
like,
That's true.
I need y'all, as hard as it is, the only way this is gonna be successful is if this is a two-way street.
Mhm.
Obviously, I'm gonna communicate my expectations to you and communicate what I need from you, but I also need you to communicate what you need from me and what you expect out of me and how I can
Mhm.
better take care of you and stuff like that?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, of course. Okay, so I have a question for you. Mm,
Mhm.
I got a question for you. So, because we talked about being selfless, right? So, what role does humility play in a mother and son relationship? So, and I'm just asking just to clarify, because some people don't really know what humble yourself mean, right? Um, so give me an example, like a solid example on a son humbling himself.
Um, trying let me think.
Yeah, think about it.
Oh, I mean, I could talk about, like, a son that's a parent.
Okay.
I'm a father. I got 6 kids.
Yeah.
Um, and as an adult, as a husband, as a father, me and Aaliyah do things a certain way,
Mhm.
you know, uh, things we learn from y'all, things we've learned from our own experiences, of our
Mhm.
parents. And but sometimes we still have to humble ourselves, like me speaking to me in particular, I still have to humble myself sometimes, like when you give me advice
Yeah.
because nobody's a perfect parent, but I also have
Mhm.
to remember, like, okay, I do things my way, but I also have to remember that, like, you've been a parent for what, 36 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been a parent for 12,
Yeah.
so like it's things that I have to be like, all right, like I may not completely agree, because sometimes I feel like, it's a situation where like, oh, I'm on the kids and you think I'm being too harsh on them, and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
need to soften up. And then like, no,
Yeah.
but you know, or you tell me like I'm not hard enough about this. Sometimes I just gotta
Yeah.
like, all right,
Yeah.
I may not completely agree, but like I have to humble myself in that instance
Yeah.
to,
And
you know,
yeah, and I'm glad you said that because I've come to understand that too. And not so long ago, that your dad and I, everybody parents differently.
hmm
And just because y'all parent differently doesn't mean that y'all are bad parents.
hmm
That's what and not saying that's what I had to understand, but that's what I had to, because I know you're not bad parents, but I would like get frustrated, you know. I'm like, just like you say, we've been parents for 30 some years, but I have to also understand that just because me and your dad did it this way doesn't mean that y'all have to do it the same way. So that was kind of, I ain't gonna lie, that was kind of an eye opener for me because um I'm like, why don't they just listen? Like, but you guys are your own people. And hey, how the world wouldn't be, you know, diverse if everybody parented the same way, right?
yeah, and
Yeah.
even
So
each like we talked about before, I got 6 kids, and all my kids are gonna have a different experience coming up in the
yeah.
same house with the same parents,
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm. Yeah,
they gonna
true.
take different things into their parenthood,
Mhm.
and then also, you and daddy aren't like, we were raised in a different time. I'm a '90s baby,
Yeah, true.
so my kids are all Gen Z and Gen Alpha.
So now there's a millennial, I mean a Gen
Oh,
Alpha?
I'm a millennial.
You're a millennial.
Yeah, 92, I'm a
Why are
millennial.
you a millennial?
A millennial is 80, you see it's different
Oh,
time
so it's years
millennial,
to, okay, I
the
got it. Okay.
generation. Millennial is 81 to 94, 95, something like that,
Oh, okay.
and
Okay.
then
All
Gen
right.
Z is like 96 to what's 15 years? 2011?
Oh,
Oh,
okay. So it's like every 15
oh,
years.
yeah, like every, like, 15 years. So, actually,
Okay.
I think Dayton and Kai are Gen Alpha. No, I don't know. Let me look, actually. 'Cause I be at this, uh, um
Does your phone
oh,
keep
so Gen Z is 95 to '09. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, so
95?
I was right. So, Gen Alpha. Most of my kids are Gen Alpha.
So Danae is
So
Gen Z?
mhm,
Okay.
um, most of my kids are Gen Alpha, 2010
Okay.
to 2024. So all my first 4 are
Okay.
and
Gen
the
Alpha.
twins are now Gen Beta.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But anyway, like, I'm my kids talk about, like, the parenting and, like, the humility that comes with that. Like, me understanding that you were raised in a different time than I was raised,
Yeah,
and you raised me in a different time than I'm raising my kids. So, like,
yeah,
things are different, My
yeah.
kids come up with the internet and all of that, so I have to parent them a little bit differently than, me being a '90s baby.
I get it. Yeah, because like the distractions,
The distractions and
yeah, and not just distractions, just you know, other things that are at their disposal. Yeah,
I think
yeah, I get it.
I've had to accept that, like, maybe because of the internet and all the distractions and stuff, that my my kids aren't great students,
Mm,
you know? And, like,
mm,
I think they'll get better as they get
yeah,
older,
yeah.
but, like, their attention span is just
Oh, you're right. You're right.
not there at all.
Yeah,
So,
and that's what I'm waiting for the school system to catch up.
yeah.
Yeah.
You saw Louisiana bringing back, teaching cursive.
Oh, I did see that. Who sent
Mhm.
that? One of y'all sent that to the group chat, I think, huh?
I think Aaliyah.
So any question for me before we get on out of here?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, I think we covered a lot. I think
mhm.
we covered some interesting facts, some
Yeah.
interesting opinions also about the Warriors.
Mhm. And relating it to,
Yeah.
relationships and stuff like that.
Yes. All right. All right. See y'all back on another one. Making
Alright.
groceries.
Yep. Appreciate y'all. This was episode 11.
11.
Uh, yeah, we didn't really take a break. I know we said that, like, a month ago, but, we going at our own pace, and
Yeah.
we figuring stuff out, and the show is getting better, uh,
Mhm.
getting clearer,
Yes.
and, y'all keep rocking with us. Hopefully by, like, this time next year, it's bigger and better.
Yes.
But we gonna keep putting our stuff out there, and, you know, we see that, we starting to gaining a little traction,
A little
um,
traction. Yeah. Mhm.
relative to where we are.
Yeah.
But, yeah, anyway, uh, that's it for us, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.
God bless.